I don't think I need to explain. I think we have been explaining it for the past series. We have not done enough with the bat. Uh, I think it seemed as if they'll score close to 80 odd runs, but we bowled really well after the 34th over. Before that, also there were a few good spells, but after that, it went our way. Virupa bowled really well. He bowled 8 overs. We were in a difficult situation as to we were not sure whether Irfan can bowl or cannot bowl, because of the injury. And Umesh was a bit expensive. So the last few overs were a bit of a worry, but he bowled well, and Umesh then bowled well the last few, along with Praveen, who bowled brilliantly in a more like a comeback game. So, very happy with the performance, but when it came to the batting department, I don't think it was really good enough. Well, it was not really going to the end, because if by that time we had lost too many, wickets, and it's a catch-22. You want to play a big shot because the field is up. They're looking to cramp you, but also, you want to stay and you want to keep the fight going, because the same situation can happen in some other game. May not be the next game, but in the future where you may be batting first, and you have to then look to get maybe 200, 220 or 230 odd runs, because if you're batting first, the opposition still needs to score the amount of runs that you have put on the board. But once you are chasing, the run rate keeps on mounting, and it was a difficult task. But if you see where we ended the game, I think there was still 7-8 overs, I don't know how many, and the asking rate was still good, which meant, if we would have played 50 overs, it would have been a really interesting game. No, it's not like we are not telling them, but if you're talking about violence, it works in it doesn't work anywhere, not even in schools, but yeah, we need to win games, that's what is important. If you see this whole series, we have not done really well with the bat, which means if we look at the games, and what happens is we have to get them out below 200. It seems as if to win a game, which I don't think is good enough. We have a much better batting lineup. It's just that maybe most of us are not in a very good form together. Maybe that's one of the reasons, which means there's more pressure on the people who are scoring runs, and also there's a lot of pressure on 7, 8, 9. More often than not they are in close to the 30 overs. More often than not, we are 4 or 5 wickets down, by the end of the 20th over. So we have not done consistently well when it came. Well, again, it's a difficult one, because they didn't. I personally thought, it was a bit unjustified for Sachin, because he had to take that extra yards, and as the incident, that I talked about previously just happened a few games back, I think. Billy should have said something, because he was in a better position to see where exactly the bowler was and where he stopped, because it was very difficult for Simon to take a call, because he had no clue which angle the batsman was running and where Lee actually stopped. Second, Sehwag, they are the best man to open. Often people talk a lot about who is best suited for that particular position, and if you have Sehwag and Sachin opening the innings, then they are the best people to open. And Gautam is someone who has got plenty of experience batting at number 3. So ideally, if you see, that's how they're supposed to bat. Viru and Sachin to open and Gautam to follow. Yes, like you said, protecting yourself, I was also happy, but if you're protecting yourself, then it's not good. It's like, yeah, I was also part of a run out in Pakistan when we were touring, and Inzi Bhai was there, and he defended something that was right on his face, and he was given out. So in this case, I think David was really lucky. I think he should have been given out, but it's not in my hands. He was not given out, and it's difficult, because in his judgment he may be protecting himself, but his hand was too far ahead. Just like an example, you can say a soccer incident where if your hands are popping out and it hits your hand, you get a penalty. Irrespective of what's happening. So that's why I said plain and simple. You look at it, it's out. Well, as I said, you look at it and it seems out. I don't know why it was given not out, but what also can be done is to have like hard lines as to this is what it is, because what happens is you have different umpires in different games, and like the umpire said, if it was an Indian batsman also, I would have given not out, but it's not there at that point of time, and things like these happens once in a while. So it should be like, okay, if this is what happens, we'll see, and it should be given out. because if there are lots of ifs and buts, you have these umpires coming in for 2 games or maybe 3 games, and they keep on shuffling themselves. So I may have a view in a particular game, but I may not be there, and the new man coming in has a different view, and by that time it's our batsman who's standing there, so we'll be on the receiving end from from both the umpires. Well, the umpire took the decision, so no real point blaming it on the decision, because at the end of the day that's what will stay, and what can be done is, in case of the Sachin run out, the next batsman going in and trying to stabilize the innings and going ahead, and in case of the David Hussey run out, the next bowler trying to put pressure and looking to get the batsman out. So this is how it goes, because once the umpire has taken the decision, it stays. Well, I think when it comes to the chance in getting into the final, I think it will be a very tough one, because the margin of defeats for us has been really big, and there will be a mathematical calculation.